I think we're on him. I think we're on him, guys. Freaking gigantic bed right by this rub. I didn't even notice it. The rub's 10 yards from this bed right now. You know, he's mature 10-pointer. He's got little kickers. I don't know if that's a smaller version of the buck I'm looking for or not. I'm fired up. Let's go. Biggest, most confirming sign of a big buck. Anyways, I'm on, as I call it, stupidly steep. My bag was just trying to roll down the hill. It is October 6th, and let the games begin, boys and girls. We are over here on Pennsylvania public land, and I am fired up to start this season. Got the bow in my hand, and I left the sticks and stand in the car today. It's mainly just a scouting trip. Gonna be working through this major terrain feature right here, which you can see behind me. And I'm gonna cut down through this terrain feature and then left and go check out a scrape that I found in postseason, and then I'm gonna head out the other way, check on a camera that I found, a buck bed up on a hill, and then down from that I followed some sign down to some fresh rubs maybe 2 weeks ago. And if there is a buck on that camera, then I'll probably just set up there tonight. You can see there's a trail there. Gonna head that way, but I'm gonna work down on this bottom, and then I'm gonna cut left. So I just came from up that way. As you can see, I'm still sort of in this terrain feature. To my left, you can see it coming down. But I'm working through this middle here, and the trail got a little bit more faint, and I didn't see any fresh buck sign, and I was about to give up on it and just be like, it's probably just some does working through there, because there's some fresh tracks. But I kept following it coming down this way, crosses here, and this is the first buck sign I found. I mean, he snapped that laurel. So the terrain feature I was in was over that way. I actually started to cut around that direction, following some trails, and then I decided this direction's where I wanted to check on that scrape. So I boarded the sign and just came this way. And I was down there lower, working this way, got to this, what was this scrape, and there's nothing there now. So then I was gonna head back that direction, because that's my primary goal. So as I'm heading this way, I picked up on some more sign. Fresh rub, just a few little nicks here. Nothing too exciting. As you can see, there's somewhat of a faint trail coming this way. You got some logs and terrain there forcing movement. And then here's another rub, obviously from this year, with the shavings on the ferns there. But not really convinced yet that there's a big one right in this area and some of this sign. Walking this road, I was gonna go through this clear cut, but back where I was trying to enter was too thick, and it just saved me time not going directly through it. But I just kicked up some doe that were, I don't know, I could see them, they were less than 100 yards just inside this clear cut. And there is some historic rubs I'm seeing in here, like there's one, but they're really, really old. It looks like that probably has been touched this year, just a few dry leaves on it, and the ground's just rock hard right here, so it's not real deep. But I figured there would be some scrapes popping up on this road. I think I'm gonna head up and work that way, because it is pretty thick. I was kind of originally thinking that it's too thick for buck to be bedded in there, but you know, they could probably work through there. It actually looks a little more open the further this way I go versus when I came in from that direction. I was gonna go up that steep mountain face and side hill it, but due to all the rocks and just how steep it was, it didn't look like it was good bedding opportunity for the deer, and just not worth it for all that struggle. So I stayed down at the bottom of the hill, and I'm just working this bottom in this thicker area that's got acorns falling everywhere. I'm just easing through in here, trying to get to my camera. That's about 200 yards from that big bed I found that I showed you guys Let's see. 450 yards to the camera. Within 200 yards of the camera, wind is directly in my face. Heard that stick snap. Chipmunks are pissed off. Just over there is where those rubs were. 8-pointer. Right there. A little buck. Oh boy, a bear. Oh gosh. It is October 9th and it is 4:15 in the morning and we are heading to Pennsylvania public land for my first sit of the season. And right now I am stoked because it's my first sit and also I'm 15 minutes ahead of schedule. You probably won't see me at any other point in the season actually be set up in the tree before daylight. I'm always late. Today's plan is we are going to be kind of doing an observation sit on kind of a steeper face, and there's kind of a bench lower, and hoping to get up high, be able to see pretty far. There should be a scrape where I'm about set up at from postseason scouting, and these next 2 weeks I'm dedicating to looking for a special deer called Bruiser. Don't know anything about him as of yet. It's going to be an observation sit in the morning, scouting, maybe checking some cameras the rest of the day, then in the afternoon and the evening, just play it by ear. It's off to a good start this morning though. Coffee's hot. We're ahead of schedule right now, so I'll see you out there. I actually left my car this morning and realized I didn't have my bow at night. My hand had to go back. I only got about 60 yards away, thankfully. It took me a long time to get settled up, and the hiking was long. It was over a mile. But I'll do whatever it takes to get a big buck on the ground. Where I'm at is I'm on a north-facing hillside. Wind's in my face. I got thick bedding behind me. This north face is a bit more open, but we have a terrain feature right here below me. Probably starts in 20 yards or so, and it's just where you got this north face. It's like pretty steep, and then you got steeper area, and it forces deer above and below it here. I know in the postseason I scouted through here. There was a scrape. I don't see any scrape right now, but there's a bunch of historic rubs down below this terrain feature. On the way in, it was thick, and just 100 yards behind me, there was a rope, like somebody had to set up mock scrape or something, so I don't know. I didn't see any cameras, but also I found 2 balloons within 100 yards of here. It's a great morning. Sun's coming up. I'll be walking into work right about now. It's funny that, yesterday all I wanted to do was sleep in before I went into work. And today I'll get up at 3:30 just to come out here and sit in the woods. First time filming in a stand ever, so. Well, it's 8:40 and I just saw 2 deer just over that way. You can see the sun's starting to really pop up over the hill. And I heard something, I looked and just caught movement. And I didn't even remember to put the camera on. I flipped the screen open and then I was zooming in, zooming out, zooming in, zooming out, trying to find them. And And then I was like, screw it. And I like threw up my binos to see him because I wanted to identify him. And I assuming they were two doe, they moved up pretty quick and they were just kind of not a care in the world type deal. I couldn't get them on film, and I'm looking over this way just right now, just scanning with my binos because I can see pretty far. And I'm like, that looks like a body of a deer. And wouldn't you know it, there's at least one doe bedded down over there, and there's another deer standing next to it. We're in them, boys. We're in them. And this is exactly how I thought this would pan out. All right, it's 11 o'clock. Saw two different groups of does, one on that side, one on that side. And plan is to pack all this stuff up and scout. Probably put on about 4 or 5 miles and hopefully bump into some hammer sign, maybe jump a big buck, or even be able to stock up on one. Who knows? I mean, these high winds are ideal for scouting. I'm working this side hill. I'm headed that way. I'm on this steep part, and there's some trails here and there, but then back there, less than 100 yards, I found a laurel bush. Not that it was rugged, but the one side of the tree was literally like taken off, like stripped all the way down. And the branch was still living, so I don't know if that was this year or what, but it's not like a log fell on it, or I mean, it could have been a bear or something, but there's another branch on that same bush that was snapped. And I just wasn't totally convinced that it was a buck, but maybe a big buck, because laurels are super strong. But I still kept working over. Just over there, I thought I saw like a nice track in the moss on a rock, but I wasn't sure. I keep following these trails over here, and it's steep. I mean, you can see it behind me. But I just found my first rub of the day, and it looks bucky in here. It's this year's. I'm gonna mark this. Actually, as I was coming in here, right before I got into these laurels here, there's one on the edge. I was like, this looks bucky. I made like a little scraping sound and stood there for like 20 minutes when the wind died down to see if, something might hear me and come out if it was bedded in here. This is a little nicked up right here. It won't focus, but that's nicked up. This is actually nicked here just a little bit. We have a trail. It's up right there. And then there's two more that kind of converge there and go that way. I'm not 50 yards from that rub, and here's a bed. I decided to hang a camera back there on one of the entry trails, I guess, to this bed. I'm gonna keep working this hillside on some trail I find. I don't know if I'll go straight out that way or up or down more, but I'm gonna keep working out and see what else I find. Ooh, there's a historic rub right there. Hold on. That's old. Look at that. Historic rubs right there. And there's poop in here. There's probably a track, honestly, right here, cutting along here. My eyes might be lying to me, but maybe not, because my brain knows what I want to see, what I'm looking for. But I think there is a hammer rub I can see from here. Bigger, higher than the last one I saw. I think we're on them. Guys. Freaking gigantic bed right by this rub. I didn't even notice it. The rub's 10 yards from this bed right now. We're just getting out of here. We don't need more information. Exit trail from the bed, nicely scratched up there. Tick mark way up there. I'm gonna go hang the stand for tomorrow morning, and hopefully it comes back to bed. 30 degrees tomorrow morning. So right behind that tree, There's a rub. You can see it from here. Right there is the bed. That other rub that I found was at least less than 200 yards away from here. But there is a bit of a drainage crossing down there, and I wanted to be able to shoot that. It's gonna be a south wind in the morning. It's supposed to be calm and then pick up as the day goes on. All I can do is hunt in the morning. He's got exit trails heading that way, and I was gonna try setting up on that exit trail headed that way, but there's just not great shot opportunity. So I think I'm just gonna try shooting him once he gets to his bed. You can see there's a laurel snapped off. Historic rub there. Historic rub. Historic rub. 20 yards to the bed. Basically right by where that big tree is. There is the setup for tomorrow morning. Axis is gonna be from the top down. Thermals in the morning are gonna be pulling down. Hopefully mine are just drifting down there and he comes through before things get rocking and swirling in here. It's October 10th and it is 4:20 in the morning. The car says it's 38 degrees. Coldest morning it's gonna be all year so far.
Settled in about 6:20. Bed is 20 yards in front of me. There's a big open bottom down this way. Oh, bending comes from that direction. Everything is perfect right now. Sun's just peeking up over. It feels right. It's just after 9 o'clock. I haven't seen anything. On occasion, I think I keep getting whiffs of like bug musk up that way. Tertianite kind of came in from. I also keep hearing jays fussing up there too. It's 10 o'clock, no deer. Gonna give it another hour. Gonna have a bit of a snack now. I think it was a quality sit this morning. You know, certainly right place in my opinion. Just wrong time. The plan here is get down and put on about 2.5 miles I've planned out to keep trying to move closer to locating where this buck is. And eventually I'm gonna have to check some cameras and shuffle some cameras around. I really want to get proof of life that, you know, the deer I'm looking for is still alive. And where exactly is he? Hopefully all this effort makes a great story and come into fruition here.
This is some rough country. I just came up that. So I was over that way, and then I went down almost to the bottom because there's kind of some subtle terrain features that came together there below where I was, and it was pretty rocky, so I figured the rocks would also force movement. I went down there. There's some old scrapes, but nothing like fresh from this year. But just kind of checking on what elevation most of the deer sign is. I am wringing wet, but I found some old buck sign down over that side hill, but I mean, it was years and years old. But I was following that, and then it kind of led me into some super steep and rocky stuff. Not anything that I really wanted to hunt, but I thought maybe there could be a little bench or something that this deer could be hiding out in, but it was just a big mistake to follow that, and I acknowledge that. And I have to be realistic with where I'd hunt this buck and where he could be. I think I was just like overthinking it. You got to get into places that no one else is going, and there's certainly places like that here. Today is October 13th and I'm over here on Pennsylvania public land. I had to use a different camera today versus my main camera because it's drizzling and I'm just trying to keep everything dry. Today's plan of action is check a couple trail cameras and try to sneak through some areas, maybe, you know, bump a deer or locate some hot sign, or hopefully there's something quality on one of the trail cameras I'm checking today. Just getting started basically, not even to my first camera. I'm really optimistic of what's going to be on these. There's a bunch of acorns that were falling over here when I hung these cameras, and a lot of good sign then. So I at least know that there's doe over in this area, and just based off of my postseason scouting, I knew this would be a good area. We got a small bed here, and also a small bed here. And I'm always dropping milkweed kind of as I'm scouting, just here and there. And I'm thinking of where I'm going to set up. So honestly, I probably can't hunt this low in the morning, because right now with this breeze, and even though it's not super sunny today with like thermals, it's just doing that big swirl because it's coming out of the north and it's pulling up the hill there. At camera location number 2. On that camera, there is like a 6-pointer. There's a bed. Honestly, I didn't even look up. I was looking at my camera. But there's a fresh track in it too. There's one of the beds I found, I think, when I posted this video. You know, back when I hung that camera. There's another bed. But there was a 6-pointer, bunch of does, those 2 little spikes hanging out together that were on the other camera, and then there was a mature 10-pointer, but he's not gonna, you know, he's mature 10-pointer. He's got little kickers off his G2s. I don't know if that's a smaller version of the buck I'm looking for or not. You're just hammering this here. Look at that laurel. Look at these all rubbed up here. So I forgot to show you guys that camera, but I just checked that camera back there, and it was great. It was on fire. There's a 9-pointer that's been consistent since like velvet season, up and down on that path. And then there was also like a smaller 10-pointer or 6x5, something like that, and it was kind of tough to see. And then there was a hammer 10-pointer on it, and a couple other small bucks, a couple other does, and there was also a person on it, but it didn't seem like it really changed the activity level there. Of course, 2 minutes after I put my camera away, I'm walking, and all of a sudden a buck stands up, and I freeze, and we just had to stare down for a minute or two. Nothing big. I mean, he was a little bit more than a spike basically, but that was fun. I didn't have my bow on me, so if it was something big, it would have just been, you know, a nice moment, I guess. Just made a small little mock right there on that branch, but I have a tree picked out probably 25 yards back there. I know there's some quality bucks in this area. This is a pretty good pinch. You have an elevation change along with, there is a bunch of rocks over there, and then you have a big thicket back there, and there is obviously enough of a laurel like cover in through here that they may hopefully feel safe enough to move during daylight. And like I was saying earlier with the thermals, right now the wind's blowing down, but a lot of times it's actually just kind of like lifting actually right here and going that way, which I'll probably access from that direction and come in the backside expecting more movement to be this way, and also primarily coming up and then cruising this way. Today in the sign I'm finding versus the past couple of days of scouting is I'm on the acorns. I've seen acorns on the ground, It's a fresh scrape. Kicked open. Looking branch. And I'm assuming, I mean, he could have came from right down here, straight below and up. But I'm sure he probably gets pinched over there just where I was. The rain's gonna come in here this afternoon, evening, so all my scent's gonna be washed away. Just kind of need a belly button height. Yeah. Starting to get a little frustrated. I don't know how many miles. I'm over probably 4 miles for the day so far. And I'm a little frustrated just because I haven't found some big sign for all these miles that I've been putting on, like hammer sign, like this is a big buck. But I just bumped the doe, and I'm still just actually crossed over to the other side of the ridge, and now I'm looking on the other side of the ridge, and that's all you can do if you're trying to locate a bigger deer. I mean, you can sit up on some of that other sign, and I may at some point, that last spot where I saw those couple rubs and showed you that one rub, I just don't think it's a big deer actually after all, so I didn't put a camera there. Still have one on my pack. I'm hoping I can find something spicy on this hillside here that, you know, gives me some clues. Well, since last time I found 2 more ladder stands and a camera and marking tape, so getting a little frustrated with all the pressure, but it is what it is. Trying to think outside the box here a little bit. I got a thicket up above me a ways, and it's pretty steep in through here, but I know back that way there is a bunch of doe I've been seeing when I've been near the property here. Human pressure was up there, came down from that, and I'm like, all right, there's a subtle bench here. You can't even really see it on Onyx too well, but just like the lines, the topo lines just open up just a little more. So I was like, oh, I'll check it out. There's probably bucks cruising that here, maybe now and even come the rut. But there's deer using this right now. And there's a historic, very historic rub there, but it's an indication that this may be used by bucks here sometime soon. And there is some fresh tracks on this, so that's good to see. I found a spot to hang my camera. Little overlooked spot. I thought somebody was messing with me when I first found the scrape. But I saw a faint trail. I was like, you know, I'm gonna investigate this. So I went one direction, kind of cleared up, and kind of dissolved, went the other way. There's buck sign in here right now, and it's fresh. Look at that thing. It's at my waist height, snapped off. And the branch is there. So it was stuck in his antlers. Fresh scrape down there. And then there's another rub just over that way. I'm gonna hang the camera here. Easiest decision I've made so far today. I'm fired up. Let's go. I feel like this is a freaking hammer. Get in here, rain, soak all this down. That's a solid rub over there. Biggest, most confirming sign of a big buck I've found all day, and I just can't believe it. It is October 14th, and I'm over here on Pennsylvania public land today doing some scouting, still looking for a particular buck. Haven't located them yet, but the plan for today is move 2 cell cameras, or at least pull them. I don't know if I'm gonna put them back out today. I just have a few hours this morning, but they're not really showing me what I wanna see. So I'm gonna pull those, and I'm also just kind of scouting my way into those locations. And came through this spot here. Just in front of me here, there's a big terrain drop off. Over just behind my shoulder there, we have a pretty decent elevation change there, maybe 30 yards away, so it's pinching some deer in through here. I haven't found a lot of sign working into this area, and I didn't really have this specifically picked out, but I figured it would be worth looking at this area on my way into my cell camera. But we do have indication that bucks are getting pinched through here at some point, and there's some fresh tracks in here. Not a whole lot, but probably just a few does as far as I can tell. There's some fresh droppings in through here. Finally getting a little concentration of deer sign right here, but I'm gonna keep working this out. Looking for the right sign, not just any sign, because looking for a better quality deer. So I can't stop at everything and think that's him. So assessing every little detail that I can, tracks, how the sign looks, but at the end of the day, I'm just taking my best guess on some stuff. So I came from that direction where that one rub was and where it pinched in a little bit. And I kept following, coming this way, getting towards the end of this point here. Doe bed, doe bed. There's more buck sign. Definitely gonna drop a pin here because in a week or so, or maybe they already are starting to, bucks are gonna be checking these does to see when they're coming into heat. This little pocket here. And then just kind of thinking in terms of if a buck's checking this bedding, where are they going to be going next? Check the next doe bedding and trying to catch them in between potentially. Well, since that last spot, I grabbed that cell camera and there's been basically a whole lot of nothing, but still looking. Anyways, I'm on, as I call it, stupidly steep hillside right now. I mean, look at the angle on that thing. My bag was just trying to roll down the hill, it's so steep. But as I was coming down, I bumped into some fresh tracks. And I thought I might have heard a deer in here kind of walking away from me, but I wasn't entirely sure. Well, still a whole lot of nothing. Found a camera, and other than that, there hasn't been much sign. I decided, like I said, I pulled that second cell camera and I just moved it here because when I located this deer, and I was kind of working the area over, dropping some milkweed, trying to figure out if he were to bed there again, that how could I set up on him. And ended up finding that in this spot here, I could get away with quite a few different winds that could work to his advantage if he was bedded down there. And that that even if he wasn't necessarily bedded right there, if he was coming through here, this would kind of pinch him down right in front of me. There's about 5 or 6 trails that come together, including 2 trails kind of from where that bed was. So it looks like it's pretty dried up here. So I'm kind of thinking I may not even get him here, honestly. And I'll have to find him elsewhere because there's like no acorns over here. That's what we like to see. Looks like somebody's trying to whittle something with that laurel. Looks fresh. Following a trail, as you can see, through this thicket. And actually, somebody's been in here cutting stuff, and that's why it's here, and deer have been using it. I noticed on one of the cut branches on the laurel that there was like a little tuft of hair just down there about 20 yards. I'm like, oh, I figured just people were using this. That sign was that way, and just kind of worked up this way. Fresh scrape. I have a cell on me. I'm tempted. I'm trying to make out tracks here. It's just really hard to do. Not a bad rub at all. It's October 16th, and I just wanted to get a few pokes in before heading out to public today. Plan for today is to do a little more scouting, probably 3 to 4 miles here this afternoon. And I'm a little undecided on whether I'm going to set up on some sign I found the past few days or not. May just scout, but today on one of my cell cameras I had 2 bucks between 10 a.m. and like 11:30 a.m. Both pretty nice bucks, up on their feet moving. So now is the time I'm going to start spending some more time in the stand and hunting because we're getting closer to them. Every time I'm out, I'm narrowing down more and more of an area of where I think this buck is that I've been looking for. So, working in from parking, I was along the thicket, and then I decided that there wasn't much sign there, so I bumped up on this ridge, and I'm gonna work this ridge a little bit, and then I'll probably check back to those thickets to my right and just work out this end, and then I'll probably just do a loop back a couple hundred yards that way then. And even if I miss something on this side, hopefully I catch some sort of sign and indication of where bucks are right now and where the does are, because where the acorns, where the does, and where the buck sign's showing up now, these next 2 weeks there'll probably be some hot spots. So that's what I'm trying to figure out just as this fresh sign is starting to pop up right now. Look at this freaking crap. I ran into cameras and stands, so I tried to drop off the thickets a bit more, about, I don't know, 100 yards to a different elevation. And it actually does look like there's some deer in here, but not up where I thought they might originally be coming from. I have one rule for myself, and it's always to look at hemlocks that are like the size of my fist in an area that there's like not a ton of hemlocks, because I always find like there's the best signposts on them, and there can be some hammer rubs. I probably looked at 6 or so today so far, and I think all of them but one had a rub on it at one point in time. Some of them were grown over with bark and stuff like that, but I'm looking up on the hill over here, and this is what I'm doing. I'm just like working through an area looking for any sort of buck sign. Like I'm on some fresh trails here and there, crossing over them, following them from time to time, but I really haven't seen much fresh buck sign in this area so far today. But I looked up there about, I don't know, maybe 60 yards. It could have been anything, but just came from that way on this trail, and I found one that was finally traversing the elevation line, the direction I wanted to go. So I got on that, and then I got to this little opening here, and I think you got trail coming this way, trail coming this way, and it comes together right here. There's actually a trail coming down as well. Working from that direction, not even, I don't know, probably 50 yards from those trails intersected there. Working this way below this thicket. Another scrape. This is also broken. Contemplating putting a camera. Oh boy, I wish there was a big rub or something. It's really torn up right in here. It's October 17th and it's 36 degrees according to my car. Great morning. I'm only going to be able to hunt an hour and a half or so, then I'll have to get out, but I'm going to an overlooked spot where I found the biggest sign that I've found all season, at least in my opinion, here, and I put a camera on it the other day.
Well, it's just about 7:30. I haven't seen anything. Didn't smoke anything coming in here. My access was pretty good. I got good cover. I got a tree here. Nice pine branches right behind me to my side here. It's a little bit thick to my left and over there to my right, so I have good cover. And I'm lower than the elevation I'm shooting. So I'm gonna duck down over the hill a little bit. Freaking chipmunks are so annoying sometimes. I think they're worse than squirrels. It's just after 8 o'clock. I'm gonna sneak up there and check this camera. You wouldn't believe it. So I put the camera out Monday afternoon. Today is Friday morning. Nothing on it till the 15th. And there was a string
of 7 doe. It's in video mode. But there was 7 doe that went by in one video. It was just like a string of them. I couldn't believe it. It's almost like we're on private over here with that many doe. That's amazing. Doesn't surprise me that that buck sign's there if there's that many doe in the area. Jeez. And that was daylight. So that buck will probably be back, whoever made that sign. Can't be late, can't be late. Good thing I hunted close to the parking lot. I should probably be getting this on film. It's still October 17th, and I'm going into my evening set. I'm actually at the tree that I plan on climbing. When I got back to my car in the morning, I found out that the light wasn't there. And I checked one pocket, wasn't there, checked another pocket, wasn't there, checked another pocket, and I had an appointment to get to. So I literally ran back to the spot that I was at, looked on the ground, found it, and then ran back because I had to make an appointment, which I made it. Also, not that this was the reason I didn't see any deer, but I stepped in dog shit this morning at 3:30 in the morning because I couldn't see it when I took my dog out. I've walked past like 6 different scrapes already, and I came up to check a couple scrapes I found in the postseason, and they are freaking lit up. I mean, within the past 24 to 48 hours max, there's not a leaf in any of these 3 scrapes that I just checked there's like 3 within 50 yards of me right now. I haven't seen any sign like this all year yet. I mean, it is just bonkers over here. I'm definitely going to be throwing some morning sits up on this hillside. It's actually probably tougher to hunt this in the evening because the thermal's pulling up this hill and also wind direction. But you know, if it cools off quick enough, things should just carry back behind me. But this is lit up. Oh my gosh. This is what I dream about this time of year. All settled in here. It's only about 4 o'clock, so probably another hour till things start to really calm down. Good front cover right in here. Got some good cover up here. Yeah. Further. Come on, Sam. You can do it. There it is. That's at 20 yards. But I thought I saw some movement that direction. I put my binos up and I could see a rub way over there. I hear something coming. Well, that wraps up tonight. Didn't see anything. Lesson learned. Can't hunt them on the bottoms and the big hills. Because I know they don't bed within 200 yards of this bottom. They're up higher, and if you cheat up on them, most likely they're going to hear you or see you, depending on how much you get up there. It just shows me, though, that all this sign is down in here, in the bucks and does, like the deer are here. It's just getting on them and figuring out where they are relative to all this sign. Another day down, another day closer to getting